Okay, so this game was requested by Vida720. I think that's how you say it. So anyway, you want me to review this game? Sure, why not? This game was released in 2008 and was published by Midway Games. It is TNA's very first video game, I believe. So the first thing that I want to talk about is a video introduction. You know, it's great that they made a custom-made video for this game, but personally it just seems a little bit corny to say the least. And yeah, I know a lot of wrestling is cheesy, and that's kind of ironically why a lot of us enjoy pro wrestling. But still, this video shows a lot of actual TNA footage and seems to be promoting the actual show itself instead of the video game. I mean, they only show about 20 seconds or so of the actual gameplay footage. Okay, so here's the menu. You got Exhibition, Online, Story, Creator Player, Options, and TNA Extras. Okay, so let's go to Exhibition. So you have your standard match, tag team match, free for all, Ultimate X, free for all, submission, force count anywhere, tag and handicap match. Now, I don't know all the matches that TNA actually has, so I don't know if this is a lot of matches or not. I guess I'll do what I always do and play one-on-one to test the gameplay. Which brings us to the roster. You seem to have some of TNA's best superstars at the time, although there are a lot of locked wrestlers. I'll play as Angle and take on Sting. Yeah, of course there are a lot of arenas that are locked as well. The loading times can seem a little on the long side, but they aren't too bad. I mean, this screen took 28 seconds. Yeah, I timed it. I like the atmosphere introduction. It's followed by another loading screen, but thankfully that is really short. So, what are the entrances like? So the entrances are really short as well. A lot of wrestlers hardly walk down the ramp. Oh well. So what is the gameplay like? Because I don't know what the controls are at all. Okay, so square seems to punch, triangle does a grapple move, and X kicks. Oh wow, a reversal, crap. So I can see you have the bodies where the names are in the corner, and that represents the damage, just like in the SmackDown games. And there is also an impact bar which seems to be filling up for each move. I guess when that completely fills up, you can do your finisher, again like in the SmackDown games. And R1 reverses and R2 runs. L1 is a button you have to combine with other buttons, like triangle, to make your moves more devastating. Combinations get you out of submission moves. So the controls are pretty simple, although the gameplay feels a little stiff. But at least the graphics are decent. Although there is not a whole lot of moves to choose from, so doing these moves can feel a little repetitive, because there aren't really many moves in the game. Oh yeah, and that red bar that's on your name is kind of like a KO meter. If it gets too low, then you need to move the analog controllers to recover. So in case you're wondering, Sting pretty much kicked my ass. Crap. Although I did put up a decent fight. So I tried the Ultimate X match and it was actually pretty fun, you know, trying to get that X. But then I found a flaw in the game. Well, in this match anyway. See, whenever you're trying to get the X, you know, with that timing mechanic, if the CPU comes too close, then all you have to do is move away from the X, and then the CPU will try and get the X. When they're trying to get the X down, you can move back in there, and then just kick them off the X. And then you can try and get the X again. Yeah, you can pretty much do that until you win. At least that's how I won. Okay, so I guess I might as well talk about the story. The story goes where you were this guy named Suicide, who was pretty much a guy who dominated TNA and wrestling in general. And he was also really over with the crowd, so when it comes to him getting a title shot, some thugs threaten him to take a fall in the match, to lose the match pretty much, so in which Suicide doesn't take the dive and he wins the title. So when he leaves the arena, he gets beaten up by these thugs. And he goes missing. He wakes up in a stingy looking hospital. He was beaten beyond recognition, and the two Hispanic doctors, who happen to be plastic surgeons, offer him to make him look like whatever he wants to. Yeah. So you pretty much create a wrestler, which leads me to the create a wrestler system, and this system is very basic compared to the SmackDown games. There's not much to it really. So you find out that you happen to be good at professional wrestling, and you find a Mexican ring tournament. And then you face off in a gauntlet of opponents. So yeah, you beat 3 guys, you unlock the ring, and then boom, you're off to America on the back of a pickup truck. And then you arrive in some kind of military area where you do yet another gauntlet match. So then there's someone from TNA who's been scouting for talent and challenges you to a match, and if you win you get a tryout at TNA or something. So yeah, that is a little bit of the story mode. I mean, it was alright, there's really not much to say about it. Although Suicide is an actual wrestler in real life. Funny that. Overall, it was okay. I mean, I don't think too many people will be satisfied about the story. Yeah, so that is basically TNA in a nutshell. There is an option called TNA Extras, where you go behind the scenes and you can actually see Midway making the game, which is pretty interesting if you're into game development, or just simply curious. Now funny, the Force Count Anywhere match, it says you can get a victory anywhere in the arena, except I couldn't go backstage. The only place I could go was outside the ring. Maybe I'm just doing something wrong. I don't know. I don't know what else to say about this game, except it was an interesting concept, but it doesn't really live up to my expectations, and I am a pretty open-minded person. So the game is playable, but the gameplay can feel a little frustrating at times. So the final verdict about this game is, try before you buy, because it is not a game that I will be playing again in the foreseeable future. It does have an online, but I didn't bother. So yeah, that's it from me. Rate, comment, and subscribe. Take care.